Okay, you ready? What day was the wedding? John 2 says the third day, right?
Yes.
A wedding on the third day, right? Bridegroom and bride, right?
Yep.
In John chapter 3, if you read 28 to 29, Jesus is the bridegroom, right?
Yep.
You sure you're getting it? Third day, bridegroom and bride. This is a picture of Christ, the bridegroom, rising from the dead on the third day, and his bride rejoicing with him that the bridegroom is alive. What day was the wedding? And who is the bridegroom according to the Gospels? In John 3, 28 to 29, John the Baptist says, I am not the bridegroom, I'm the friend of the bridegroom, and he who has the bride is the bridegroom. So Jesus is the bridegroom, and the bride belongs to him. Yes. So this wedding is a picture of Jesus the bridegroom celebrating with his bride on the third day when he rose from the dead. It's a picture of what's to come. The wedding is meant to be a picture, third day wedding, of Christ the bridegroom celebrating with his bride on the third day when he is raised from the dead. And according to Paul, who is a picture of Christ and the church? Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve are a picture of Christ and the church. How do I know? You remember in Genesis 2, 23, 24, where Eve was brought to Adam after God created Eve?
Yeah.
When Adam sees her, he goes, this is flesh of my flesh, bone of my bones. She will be called woman, for she came out of man. Womb, man, out of man, right? And then Genesis 2:24 says something. I want you to listen to this. For this reason, a man shall leave his father and mother and cling to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. So a man leaves father and mother and clings to his wife, and they become one flesh, right?
Yeah.
Paul says that's about Jesus Christ and the church. Go to Ephesians chapter 5 and read 30 to 32. Watch here. Watch what's going to happen, guys. Watch how this is all a picture of Christ's celebration with his bride, the church, upon rising from the dead.
For we are members of his body, of his flesh, and of his bones. For this reason, a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. This is a great mystery, but I speak concerning Christ and the church.
Okay, so Genesis 2:24, Adam and Eve, they're a picture of who?
Christ and the church.
So Adam and Eve point to Christ and the church, as Christ is the last Adam and the church is the last Eve?
The last Eve, yeah.
I don't think you're getting it. And John 2, it's a wedding on the third day, which is a picture of the bridegroom Christ celebrating his bride when the bridegroom rises on the third day.
Yeah.
And in Genesis 3, what was Eve called? Woman, right?
Woman, yeah.
What is Mary called in John 2? Woman.
Woman.
Wake up. Why is he calling her woman?
He is not directly
Genesis 3,
Mary.
the woman who gave to the first Adam forbidden fruit, and God says, because you listened to the voice of your wife and ate of what I told you not to, you are cursed. But this woman tells this last Adam what to do, and he honors and he obeys her. The woman of Genesis 3 told the man what to do and caused him to sin. The woman of John 2 tells that man what to do, and because of her, God honors her, and she begins Christ's miraculous miracle ministry of miraculously restoring the earth. So when the first man obeyed that woman, he sinned. This man obeyed this woman and brought blessing, not curse. Did you get it?
Yeah, I saw. Yeah.
And wine is the fruit of what we call of the vine, right?
Yes.
Wine, fruit of the vine. Notice the first woman gave fruit from forbidden tree to the man, and when he listened to her, he sinned. This woman has this man make drink from the fruit of the vine. And that fruit of the vine is something that points to the cup, the wine in his blood, which cleanses us from sin. Are you seeing how it's being reversed?
I'm seeing the connection.
Are you seeing that Mary is the woman that has the last man do that which is good and salvific and restores mankind, to undo what that woman who was married to that man had that man do in bringing sin into the world?
Yeah,
So you see why he's calling her woman?
I see.
It's a
Yeah, I see.
reminder of the garden saying, woman, I am here to do what my Father tells me, unlike Adam, who did what the woman told him in disobedience to God. This is a reversal. Because in Genesis 3:17, God says to Adam, because you obeyed the voice of your wife and did what I told you not to do, that's why the ground is cursed, thorns and thistles, and you return to the dust. So here the last Adam's reminding her, I'm not like that Adam who'll go ahead of the Father and disobey him. I do what the Father tells me, unlike Adam, who disobeyed God by doing what the woman tells him. But now my Father tells me, go ahead and do what you asked, because he's honoring you, unlike that first woman.
Yeah,
Okay, but I'm going
I
to give you a
see.
final
I see
point
now.
to connect it. If you go back to John 2 and you read 6 all the way to 10, Jesus made wine out of water, but it was water contained in 6 jars used by the Jews for their ritual cleansing, for their religious rites, right?
Yeah,
Okay, well, you see it. I will read John 2. I want you to see, because I
yeah.
want to make the connection again with Genesis and the Sabbath.
Now there was set there 6 water pots of stone.
How many?
6,
6. And these water pots were used for what?
according to the manner of purification of the Jews.
Did you catch it, guys? Pay attention. 6 water pots filled with water that the Jews would use to purify themselves for religious rites, for their religion. 6. Now, before you move on, not only was the wedding on the 3rd day, it actually took place on the 7th day. You ready now for this? When you start reading from John 1:19 all the way to 51, and you count the days, when Jesus arrives at the wedding, it's the 7th day from the time that John the Baptist announced that he's coming to prepare for Christ. Because if you read John 1:19 to 28, he tells the Jews he's sent ahead of Christ. Then it says the next day, John 1:29, he sees Christ, the Lamb of God. Then in John 1:35, it says the next day. So if that's the next day, so let's count. Next day, 2nd day. Next day, right? It's 3rd day. Okay? Then if you go on, it says the next day, right? That's the 4th day, right? And when was the wedding? On the 3rd day. So 4 and 3 is what?
7.
You sure you got it, right? If you count,
Yeah.
7. So the wedding took place on the 7th day, which is the 3rd day. 3rd day, Jesus' resurrection. The resurrection of the bridegroom, celebrating with his bride. 7th day, the day of Sabbath rest.
Yeah.
So when does the wedding take place? 7th day, day of rest. 6 water pots where the Jews would use water for purification, their rituals. 6, right?
Yeah.
But then he takes that water, turns it into wine. Now read what happens from there. So they fill up 6 jars of water used for the purification of the Jews, right? Watch where we're going to go with this. We're going to wrap it up.
And verse 8, and he said to them, draw some out now and take it to the master of the feast. And they took it. And when the master of the feast had tasted the water that was made wine, and did not know where it came from, but the servants who had drawn the water knew, the master of the feast called the bridegroom and said to him, every man at the beginning sets out the good wine, and when the guests have well drunk, then the inferior. You have kept the good wine until now.
Okay, what the good wine wasn't brought out first. It was brought out later, right?
Yeah.
And what does wine point to? The cup of wine points to what?
The blood of Christ.
Okay, notice what it's saying. You didn't start off with the best wine. When you began, you served wine that wasn't as good. You saved the best for last. Now, here's what Jesus is showing you. Judaism wasn't the best. Judaism was inferior to the new wine, new covenant of Christ. So understand what he's saying? Usually people bring out the best first and then bring out that which is inferior later. But you, on the other hand, you saved the best for last. Yeah, because God's best isn't the old covenant. 6 water jars signifying the Jewish religion. That's not the best. God saved the best last. And what was the best? The blood of the lamb that does what the blood of animals in the Old Testament could not do. The blood of the animals could not bring rest. 6 jars, 6 days of working. It's only the blood of Christ that will bring you into the 7th day, the day of rest. Because the wedding took place on the 7th day, which is the 3rd day, the resurrection. It is only through the death, resurrection of Christ on the 3rd day where you experience God's rest, his Sabbath. You enter his rest by the blood of Christ, who shed his blood and rose on the 3rd day. And you only enter that rest when you are his bride. That's the message.